Hello, everybody. I'm Dylan, and today we're going to talk about Keep the Lights On, a movie that was first released in 2012. It is written by Ira Sachs and Mauricio Zacharias, also directed by Ira Sachs, and based on some of his personal experiences with a former lover. Keep the Lights On is distributed by Music Box Films. So this film is about the complicated relationship between two guys in their 30s. The story begins in 1998. Eric, played by Thure Lindhart, is an artist who is trying to make a film but struggling to get it finished. He's single and seems to call phone sex hotlines and goes on random hookups with other guys. One of these hookups is Paul, played by Zachary Booth. Paul tells Eric not to expect anything because he has a girlfriend, so he's in the closet. One thing I should mention is that events in this film go by fast, and what I mean by that is whenever you change scenes, sometimes days, weeks, or even months have actually passed by. I was a little confused at first because early on Paul tells Eric that he has a girlfriend, and the next scene they're at an art exhibit together. Then in another scene or two, Paul surprises Eric at their place with a birthday party, and they kiss in front of their friends. So I was like, oh okay, so he's not in the closet anymore and they live together? So you catch on that the film might skip some time to get to the more noteworthy events in their lives. But unfortunately, Paul has a bit of a substance addiction, which leads to many arguments between the men. Eric sometimes still hooks up or calls phone sex hotlines and even gets caught by Paul in one of those hotlines. So Paul misses an important appointment, Eric worries. They seem to be caught in a circle of fighting, addiction, jealousy, and makeup sex. By this point, Eric has been working on his film for 4 years. Eric eventually sets up an intervention with Paul for his drug dependency. Paul initially refuses, but eventually goes. By 2003, they're back together as we see at a Christmas dinner. Eric congratulates Paul on his progress. Eric's film is finally finished and is given an award, to which Paul is absent because of relapse and is eventually found after a 3-week drug binge. Eric is subjected to a heartbreaking scene which I won't spoil here. By 2006, they reconnect again. Paul gives Eric an ultimatum: move in with me to the big city or let's break up right now. Again, no spoilers, but that's the movie in a nutshell. Keep the Lights On is definitely an interesting study of a gay relationship, although this certainly could be a straight or any other relationship. I don't want to say that this is a typical gay relationship because it's not, but I do think these types of problems are very common. Two people who love each other but who have their own demons to fight, leading them to breakups and reconnecting. Even though two people might love each other, there are situations, whether outside factors or in this case issues with the people themselves. Sometimes people have to decide if they really are good together or not. So I've known many people with a complicated relationship like this with their lovers. Their love tainted by either substance abuse, the allure of sex outside the relationship, or various other things. As the audience, we are kind of in agreement with Eric's circle of friends. They wonder why Eric keeps pursuing and enduring this relationship with Paul. One of the friends even asks, is this relationship really worth it? He hasn't changed then and he won't change now. It's one of those connections between two people that other people might not understand. Eric loves Paul and always has faith that he can change, even after a few years. At the end of the movie, Paul is clean, but the possibility still lingers in both their heads. So do they give the relationship one more try, or do they give up the ship? You'll have to watch to find out. So what are the general themes for this movie? Well, let's take a brief look. So for one, complicated love relationship. So as I've already mentioned, two men love each other but go through various problems, starting with Paul being in the closet with a girlfriend, to battling addictions, drugs, and sex, which is an ongoing theme between the two characters. There's also an intervention in relapse on the part of both characters, but Paul seems to have the bigger problem. Eric is very serious about Paul and would probably give up all his bad habits for him. Finally, human connection is the last theme I put here. Eric could easily give up on Paul because they go through a lot, but they keep the relationship alive for much longer than what the friends think is worth. But of course that's not their decision, so Eric and Paul definitely have a connection that nobody understands. So what is this movie rated? So is Keep the Lights On any good? Well, IMDb has rated it a 6.4 out of 10, while Rotten Tomatoes has a rating of 89%. It's strange how different these ratings can be sometimes. I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a great look at the complex relationship between these two men. The only minor issue I have is with the sometimes lack of connection between the scenes. You almost feel like you've missed something at times. A few years pass by in this movie. So we started in 1998 and finish at around 2006. So it feels like the film cherry picks certain key moments into their lives. It doesn't make it a bad film, but it just helps knowing this going in. So what about you? Have you seen this movie? And what did you think of it? Or have you ever had a complex on and off relationship with somebody you loved but who drove you crazy at times, with either bad habits or certain dependencies? I'm always interested in hearing other people's stories, so please give me a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll hopefully see you in the next review.